Well, thank you so much, Marta, for this kind presentation. Well, as Marta said, I'm coming from the University of Girona. This is in the northeast of Spain, but I'm also collaborating and participating in this gender and science group from the Society of the Iberian Limnology. So that's why I put these two affiliations. So I would start with the first part of the talk, talking a bit of more on a general context about climate change, gender issues, and why we could use art um, to integrate it in our science. And then the second part, I will be talking about the presentation, the project that we have been working with this gender and science group that we currently have it here. And then feel free to stop me in the middle of the presentation if you want to say something or if you have an idea. This would be nice to hear you, and just interrupt or wait after the end as you prefer. But I will be very happy to have your input in the presentation and to have a discussion about these issues. As Marta said, I'm ecologist, I'm biogeochemistry, so there are some aspects of this that they are not really on my comfort zone. So that's nice if you also have experience about that, so I'll be more than happy to hear that. I also want to thank you for the invitation. It's really nice, all the settings that you have organized for me, so I'm really, really happy. Well, I will start. So climate change, as you know, is threatening freshwater ecosystems in multiple ways. So we have extreme events, we have droughts, we have contamination. All this is threatening these valuable systems. And of course, because we depend on these systems, the freshwater ecosystems provide, provide valuable ecosystem services, this impact to humans, to the people. But these impacts are not the same for everyone. So women are usually more affected by these impacts. Women and other collectives that they are minoritized, are called minoritized, like by factors of ethnicity, region, location. So not all suffer in the same way the effects of climate change. Sorry, So at the same time, women are less represented in the decision-making organs. For example, this picture on the bottom, it's from the conference of the climate change in Dubai in December 2023, and it's very, so it's moving along. So, so women are less represented, even that women can have a relevant role in leading strategies for mitigating climate change. So the question is, how can we, as science, help to contribute to move to achieve the sustainable development goals? Well, there has been this new approach that it's talking about transformative research. So what they argue is that instead of focusing, not only focusing on the problems, so me as a biogeochemistry, I would focus on the increase of nitrogen concentration in streams due to agriculture or sewage. We cannot only focus on the problems, but we need to move and look at the solutions. So it's not sufficient to look at the problems. What we need to research is also about the solutions. Does it make sense? So what do we need to research on the solutions? So we as researchers, we cannot solve all. No, they are complex problems in a real world. So we need to collaborate. We need to collaborate with the stakeholders. We need to collaborate with industry. We need to collaborate with the land management people. So we need to be able to collaborate with people with different backgrounds, and also collaborate not only with people from our same research field. We need to collaborate with social scientists, mathematicians for modeling. So we need to be multidisciplinary, an approach that needs to be multidisciplinary. And also, this transformative approach, what they state, is that the important thing is the process. So we not only care about the output. We as a scientist, or traditional, like the science that we do, or most of people do, it has like an importance on the output. So we are really doing some work and we finally get a paper. So that's the output. But in this approach, the important issue is the process itself. So we are going to try solutions that may work or not they work, but we are going to learn through this process. And then there are also the ethical aspects. So if we want to work with solutions, we need to know what solution we want. And the solution should be sustainable, like in this sustainability framework, but the solution itself, it's going to depend on each intrinsic underlying values. So it's not going to be the same for me or for another person, especially from other backgrounds. So it's important to be clear with these expectations and these underlying values that each person has. So having this framework in mind, can the art be or can help in this transformative research approach? So I'm trying to convince that yes, but art can help with that. So why art? So first, art historically has been really connected with science. So both science and art try to observe what is around us and understand and provide avenues for communication and inquire. So in some sense, we have kind of the same main objectives, but also art can engage with people from different backgrounds. This is because they use universal languages, so it appeals to the emotions. So with art, we might be able to engage with people from different backgrounds. And how they do that? They evoke emotions. In science, we are very skeptical about emotions. We never talk about emotions. But in fact, emotions can help to engage with people, understand these intrinsic values that we were talking. So, for example, art can help to communicate these complex these problems that we have with climate change, and feel it in our own in our own. So this is called like embodiment of the problems. So, but not only that, art can also help to show different ways. So it can inspire innovative solutions. So if we are talking that we want to work on the solutions, art can help to visualize them. So there are these utopias or dystopias. So where do we want to go? This art can help to visualize that and clarify expectations among all the people who are contributing on this process. This is results from a study that they analyze different projects relating art and science. So that was a meta-analysis from 200 projects in United States. And what they saw is that actually most of the projects related to art and science were in the field of environment and climate change. I could say, I'm not sure about that, that environment and climate change, they are like also like in other fields that they try to educate the public, but I would imagine that these projects also want to transform these people. They have a motivation of transformation beyond education. So in this sense, art can also help to transform the communities. On the other hand, we also have these creative activism or artistic activism. So something that they have been calling in the literature artivism. So this would be the relationship between art and activism. So art done with a meaningful, with an objective to transform the attitudes of the people. And in this sense, I feel like the other side of the coin of what we could like expect with this art and science in the fight for climate change or the mitigation of climate change. Those are two examples. I'm not sure if there are a lot of examples. So this one from Tanzi Chi, that she collect, I think 500 kilos of plastic waste in the sea, and then she used it for the for an exhibition in this museum in Singapore. So to feel the people the problem. And then this other example is from Greenpeace that invite this great pianist to perform his music in front of a glacier, the thawing of a glacier in Svalbard. So in these ways, activism is also using art, or art is using these approaches to transform, to have an object, like to change to motivate the change. So here is my first part, like the context. So that's what I wanted to like framework. And now I'm going to talk about this group that I belong. So this is the Science and Gender group from the Society of Iberian of Limnology. This was created in 2014. So this society is meeting every two years. And in 2014, we started to chat with some people with interest with gender issues. And then we decided to create a more formal group. So now it has become bigger and bigger, and there has been, like, the people involved in that has become very active. And we have been doing several projects related to promote gender equality in our field of research, which is freshwaters. So our objectives are 4. So we act as an observatory. So we are looking if there are gender gaps or where are the gender biases in our field in particular. And then we develop studies that show these gaps. So the first study that we have done with this field is to analyze our society. So how many researchers were in the, like a PhD students, and then postdocs, and then tenure track, and then senior researchers, and see if there are differences between them, that we can see this typical graph that the PhDs, there are like more women that start as PhD, but then this proportion is lower at the senior positions. So we have been trying to contribute to open the eyes in this sense. And then we also want to highlight top figures of our field. So like limnologists, female limnologists that have contributed in the field, and sometimes they are less seen. And then we also want to work in this approach to find solutions. So and this is some examples. So we had this paper published that it was about women in limnology that highlight the historical contributions of women in our field, but also we show the current situation. So showing that women are still underrepresented in plenary talks, in the limnology conferences, they receive less prizes, they are less represented in society boards and also in journal boards. So we quantify that and we show it to our community. But we also, with this sense to provide solutions, we also have been working, for example, with this project about gender limnoedo, that we create some teaching resources with 3 objectives. So the first one, it was a self-assessment test to see if my teaching was gender biased. So we actually provide a test that is available online and you can answer. And then it tells you if your practices are gender biased or how could you improve your teaching in relation to be more gender fair. We also provide some free lectures for different topics and the contribution of women. So we highlight the contribution of women in these topics, and they are available online. And also we provide some slides about gender and science to show this underrepresentation of women in all these aspects. So, but I'm here for this project, and you know where this is from, I guess. You just passed by. So I'm going to talk about our last project that is augmented ecofeminisms, climate, water, and women. This, as I told you, with the group, we have mostly focused on our field of research that has to do with our academics community. But here, we wanted to analyze how these impacts on freshwater that we usually studied as environmental scientists have an effect to people and how women sometimes are more vulnerable. So the objective of this project was basically raise awareness of these different impacts of climate change in freshwaters and focusing on the women. And women as usually more vulnerable to these effects, but also highlighting the leading roles that women are also taking in mitigating climate change and the impacts to freshwaters. And also, of course, as researchers, as is what we have been working, with the aim to create a change in the intentions of the audience. So we decide to work in 8 topics that we consider that they were the main important ones. So we talk about climate change vulnerability, ecofeminism, extreme events, salinization, eutrophication, pollution, biodiversity loss, and water as energy resources. And in each topic, we're trying to find some examples to highlight the role of women. To do that, we did that together with a creative team. So the scientist team were volunteers. We were 22 scientists from this group of limnologists of the Iberian Society of Limnology, and then a creative team. And we tried to work together to create this exhibition that it would be enough interesting to spike a change. This is the team. So that was a big thing, and it was a nice collaboration. And how we organize is that each topic was covered by a group of scientists. So from 2 to 4, and we make an initial meeting, so each one could choose the topic that they want. And then each group suggests a topic that they wanted to work. And then there was a follow-up meeting to get feedback from the rest of the group. So each group work on a topic. And then initially they wrote like a small half page about the topic, and talk also to the creative team. So for example, the illustrator, so for the creative team, we had 4 people. So there was the illustrator, Roser Cousseau, that was the one doing the illustrations. Then Laura Carrao, who made the videos. And then Anna Pigem, the graphical design. And then Max Zinovic, who made the animations. So we initially do this half page, and then Rosé wanted also to have some images on what the scientific team were imagining about their own panels. For Laura Carrao, it was a bit different. So because Rosé was creating the image, and then Laura Carrao was providing a video. So what? How did it work? The scientist team lead the investigation, and the creative team made the illustrations and the video. But we like to say that it was more, not like everyone doing his own thing in his own role, but it was more transdisciplinary, I guess. Because, for example, Laura, who was the person in charge to do the video, what they ask the researchers is like, okay, now you have what you want to talk about, now you need to do a script. And then the researchers was like, how am I going to do a script of a movie? And it was an interesting dialogue because it was so, I think that we both learn from each other. So it was like me trying to explain eutrophication to the illustrator, and then the illustrator trying to explain, I don't know, like the Laura Carrà was trying to explain how we should do a script. And like, yeah, you need to, like, there was like all these things that we as a scientist, we don't usually think, but then as creative, you need to think. For example, for Laura, it was very important that we should be short. A long video, no one looks at that. And we keep to be long. We want to explain too many things. And she was like, cut it off. And for the scientists, for example, the videos, they have references. And Laura was like, where's a video with reference? But for the scientists, it was really very important to have the citations of where they obtain the information, because we are used to have citations in our paper. So it was a nice dialogue between these two communities, which was intense because it required a lot of work. But we had the feeling that through this process, we were like all growing and learning from each other. So it was actually a nice experience as far as I see. So the output of this project was these 8 panels. Each panel represents one of the topics that I told you. So it focus on environmental issues related to fresh water, climate change, and the role of women. And each panel has 3 parts. So the first part is we brought this. So this is a so the first part is the illustration that is activated with an application of augmented reality. So you only have, I don't know if you have tried, but so you need to go with a phone or a tablet, and then you just go here, and then it's animated. So well, here maybe, so this one is about water as resource. So you see that there's a dam that is being created. Well, I don't know if you can see it from here, but you are welcome to try it. And then also we brought some postcards so you can have them. And here is the QR to download the application. So you just download that, it's for free, and then you just like point it with the ArtVive application, and then it's alive. So each illustration is possible to animate, and then there's a small text that with a title that we wanted to be very small. And then this last part, it's actually a video. So we have 3 elements: the illustration with the augmented reality, the text, and the video. And this is available online. So you can visit here, but then you have more resources in the website. So you can stay in your couch and look at the videos calmly. So and each one, it's about different topics that we thought that it would be interesting to highlight. So So this was done in 2023. So we started the project at the beginning of 2023 with the kickoff meeting and then the follow-up meetings. During the spring, during the first part of the year, we mostly it was the scientist group working, and then in a spring, they started the conversations with the artistic team, back, forward, the filming, the animation. And then in October, we had the inauguration at the University of Girona. And then the exhibition has been on tour in different universities in Spain, which were the partners of the project. And then now is available for other places. And we have been presenting it in several universities. And also we in some other non-academic locations. For example, in this Sant Joan de les Abadesses is a small town in Catalonia that they had the exhibition in the shops. So you could like go walking on the street, and through the windows you could use the application and look at the animations of the augmented reality. So we are trying to also to use this exhibition for general public. So far, we have had the exhibition in 16 hosting institutions. 2,500 people have seen the exhibition, and then the visualizations that they are kept recorded in the application, it's more than 12,000, and the videos are in Vimeo, so it's more than 1,000. And then the website, it's also possible to access. So now, because we were so happy with the project that we continued to work with the project, and Roser adapt each of the 8 topics in a small stories for children. So we have the book in Catalan and Spanish, and with a small 4-page comic style story, and each deals about the topic of the exhibition. But this is totally adapted for children. So which it was a little bit challenging, because if you see the exhibition, there are like some issues that they include violence, or they include like very hard topics. So it was a challenge to adapt this to the children. But I think that we did it pretty fine. So and the book is very beautiful with these illustrations. So this is how it looks. So in this sense, your question, so this is very poetic as well, because suddenly the trees are women. So it's so how this can be scientific approach. So yeah, so it's a children book. So it's yeah. So we need to let a little bit of poetry in. And it was also a dialogue between the artist and the scientist. So we arrive an agreement with that. The book goes also with teaching resources. So because as you see, the story, it has a lot of poetry, so it's not that literal or not like a teaching book. So we also create a teaching resource for the teachers to understand the story and then to be able to work with that. So we provide some self-reflection questions, so to have a discussion about the book, and also links to other resources that can help, that can contribute to understand the problematic better. So here, so with this, we also went to present that in different schools in Spain. And the book, it also has the augmented reality, that when the children see it, is like very, very exciting for them. But we also we also try to use these teaching resources to adapt some activities for the children. And then there's this other follow-up project that it's Rosé is leading, that she's working with this this is a company of animation, and then they are creating a story, an animated short film with the ideas that we have developed in this project. And this is going to be released in October this year. So this is only the story board. So now it's under construction. So that was all, and thank you. And I don't know why this is moving alone, but thank you.